Today is Monday, and we're gonna do squats and bench. Last week I felt something funny in my knee during squats that I hadn't felt before, so I took it easy the rest of the week, and it's feeling really good now. So we're gonna see how we make out today. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go up to 325, which is what I did last week. Last week I did 5 reps. I stopped at number 5 because this felt kind of funny and I didn't want to push it anymore. The goal is to get 7 of them. So we're going to start with just the bar, 45 pounds for warm-ups, and stretch out my shoulders. I'm probably not going to get good depth on these sets because I got to stretch everything out. I'm not the most flexible person. Everything is tight and needs to be worked in. Here we just work on stretching the shoulders out. Trying to get the bar into position or really close to it. That's why I start out real light with just 45 pounds. I'm not going to put anything heavy on until I'm stretched out. Now where I hadn't felt anything all week, I could feel that on that first set. We'll see how it goes as I stretch out. 95 pounds. To me, it feels like something is being pinched. I just wonder what a little bit wider stance would feel like. I may give that a try, because my stance is a little bit on the narrow side. So this isn't a lot wider, it's just an inch or 2 wider, probably 2 inches wider, and we'll see how this feels in comparison. It feels different. It feels a little bit awkward at first. It also feels a little bit harder because I haven't been doing squats that way. But my gut feeling, yeah, it's kind of, pardon the pun, my gut feeling is it makes a little more room for my gut when I go down in the hole. And this may allow me to get a little bit better depth than how I was standing before, just slightly narrower. Because let's face it, those of us with a few extra pounds, when you go down, you need to make room for your gut to go between your legs. If you try and go down without your legs spread out in a little bit of a V shape, you'll get bound up by your gut actually hitting the tops of your legs. So I'll see when I go and watch the footage. And I'll see if this makes any difference today. On that last set, that changing the angle up did feel better as far as whatever I was feeling in this leg. 185 for 2. It's really hot up here today. It's probably going to be in the 80s outside by now, which is pretty hot weather for us for this time of the year. And it's really stuffy and it's really humid up here in the gym. I don't know if the AC is working. It's definitely not on. Again, we're going to try a little bit wider stance. 185 felt good. I don't know how it looks like in the recording, but for me on my end, it feels like I went a little bit deeper. All right, we're ready to give this a try. I've got 325 on the bar, and I'm going to try this with a little bit wider stance and see how it feels. So I'm not sure what to expect. Now, before I started having some issues, I was up to 365 for 5 and a single at 405. I would rather take this step down in weight and see if I can do a little bit more to correct my form. As I was pushing the weights up, and I was pushing them up pretty quickly, I think I was suffering from a little bit of form creep. What I mean by that is, as you're doing more weight, your body will figure out little subtle ways to adjust in order to cheat a little bit. So this time I'm going to drop down here, and then I'm going to work on progressing back up more slowly and try and pay more careful attention to form. And I'm going to try and, I think I like this a little bit wider stance. Like I said, it does feel a little bit harder, so I'm not sure how many reps of this I'm going to do. It's something I'll need to get used to. But it does, I think it does feel a little bit better. And I didn't feel anything in my left leg when I was doing those. I think it took some of that tension off on that inside edge where it felt like something was pinching. So we're going to go with that for a while. And just to give you another little summary, without shoes on, barefoot, I'm exactly 6 feet tall. Right now I'm probably about 250 pounds. I would like to drop a few pounds is, you know, you can tell little things. For example, like when you bend over to tie your shoes, your gut is pressing up against your diaphragm and actually makes it a little bit harder to take a breath. Just things like that, or just feeling a little bit uncomfortable doing different activities, no problem with lifting, but just I weigh a little bit more than what I want to weigh. I don't really feel comfortable. So that's a downside of the extra pounds. The plus side of the extra pounds is it helps all your lifts to go up. I do better at a heavier weight. I would do even better if I gained another 10 pounds, but I really don't want to do that, and ideally, I would like to drop about 20 pounds. I don't know, maybe the summertime will be a good time to do it. I'll start doing a little bit more cardio, and I'll just see how it goes. Because right now I don't feel that comfortable, but then again, like I said, the weight helps in the lifting, and I still have a few goals that I want to reach. And if I drop weight, it's going to make it harder to reach those goals. I still want to get, before the end of the year, I want to get a 300-pound bench, and I want to get a 500-pound deadlift. I've done 460 maybe about 6 weeks ago, but that was an absolute max, so I've been backing off from that on the heavy singles and make it a heavy single. It doesn't need to be a maximum single. So I'm going to see how much I can push that up this year. That's just another 40 pounds, which is a lot now. When you're first starting out, you'll put 40 pounds on in just a matter of weeks with no problem. But we'll see how that goes. And I might try, I don't know if I wanna try just a real slow weight loss. I might try just, cutting out any of the sweets and the sugars and things like that. My wife does a lot of baking and stuff, so if I stay away from some of that stuff, which is hard to when your wife makes really good stuff, but if I stay away from some of those things, just cut out that stuff, which really is an excess, and it's not clean food, there's no nutritional value there, it's just tastes good and it's sugar. So I might start there and just cut some of that stuff out, and maybe have weekends be a couple cheat days when I can have some of that stuff, but try and cut it all out, at least Monday to Friday. And I think that would be a good starting point. If I could cut out some of that stuff, that might just put it over the edge to where I don't have to change what I'm eating. And if I'm not changing what I'm eating, I still may be able to improve on my lifts and meet my goals. All right, so 325. I'm gonna try and do at least a set of 5 with the wider stance. And like I said, the goal here is 7. I'm gonna do the same thing with this, is what I've been doing with deadlifts and bench press, which will be 5, 6, 7. So when I hit 7 reps, I'll put 5 more pounds on. And then usually the next week would be 5 reps, then the next week 6 reps, then the third week 7 reps, and then an additional 5 pounds. So that's once a month for 5 extra pounds. I suspect once I get going with these, this might go a little bit quicker because I've already been at a higher level than this, and I've just backed off to try and work on form. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm happy if I can put 5 pounds on a month. That's good enough. That's enough of a gain. 56 years old, and I don't need to be pushing it like a 20-year-old would. All right, so 325.